Hello and welcome to the New Mindset Podcast. My name is Jacob.
My name is Georgia.
I hope you're all going good. Georgia, how you going?
Yeah, no, really well. I just had a little iced coffee. I'm feeling good.
Iced coffee, yeah?
Yeah.
Very
Hit
good.
the spot.
When he's having his bone at the moment.
Yeah, stinking up the place.
Yeah, we're in a little closed room and Winnie has been so kind to bring in a
smelly bone.
smelly bone.
But it'll keep him quiet, so that's the good thing.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Jacob?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I listened to a, what is his name?
Gabor
Mate. About, what was it? About trauma. He and Theo Von sat down and when you listen to those sad things and it just puts you in a bad state. That's been me for the last 2 hours, but I'm trying to get out of it for this episode and hopefully that energy will carry on for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
Yes.
that more positive energy.
Yes. After this, I've negotiated. I'll do the podcast. We just had our weekly meeting, and then I am probably gonna order a pizza and play some PS5 and be kind.
Yeah,
I think that's what's gonna happen. And
that's
that's me.
Yeah, you got to do that sometimes.
Got to do it.
So that's good.
Yeah, we always talk about negotiating, and we don't normally talk about like practical examples, but that's my practical example.
Like right now.
For right now.
That's pretty cool.
And I've just been like smashed with all the podcast editing because we've just started up the YouTube, which isn't as exciting right now because we've got no visual still. That will come soon enough when we got some spare monies.
Yeah, well, we're going to upgrade our microphones to be something that's a bit more practical, for something that's a bit more visually appealing, I guess. You got to do what you got to do, and we're recording in a space that's suitable for now, but we'd love to be able to do videos and be able to bring people in and have them welcome and feel nice in the space. So new microphones, new setup, and obviously when all of that happens, kind of maybe in the new year. We'll be able to bring that visual to the YouTube, which would be really nice.
A few Christmas presents, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll just get each other a microphone.
Yes,
that's it. Here you go. Here is a microphone.
Surprise.
And a neon light. How good.
Way.
I am keen for the neon light.
That'll be good.
But yeah, all of those episodes had to be re-listened to and uploaded to YouTube. So I think that was 28 episodes I had to listen back to, and I'd like to think that we've improved since the first one.
For sure.
Thank God.
Well, I think the first one was hidden, wasn't it?
The first one was we went off one microphone from memory.
Yeah, we had one mic. Our settings were dodge. We did not know what we were doing. No. But I guess we were on the philosophy of first step. We just got to get it out there and get it done, and then we'll learn from our mistakes, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's jump on to this week's episode. You are in control of this one and you chose to chat about how does boredom influence a child's confidence?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Why this episode?
Well, actually, we were having a little bit of a look through some of our Instagram posts and seeing, okay, what's something that we could kind of unpack a bit more than the 6 sparks of ideas that come out when we do these types of posts.
Yep.
Correction, when you do these types of posts.
Yeah.
So the one that came to mind was specifically the role that boredom plays in kids' lives. And some of the things that it came up and brought up was it sparks creativity, it builds problem-solving skills, develops their imagination, explores new ideas, helps their learning, and builds self-control. So there's lots of things that can happen and that boredom plays a really pivotal part in child development. Yep. So those were kind of the 6 things that we started with in that Instagram post. And I guess today I wanted to delve into them a little bit more.
Yeah, cool. Those posts are pretty good just to bring the not the issue but the topic to front of mind, and then the podcasts, we don't break down every post of course, but this one caught your attention, so I think
it was probably because boredom actually plays such a pivotal role in all of our lives. Everyone feels a little bit bored every day. So it's a really common feeling that we all experience, but
I can just jump in. I don't think people do feel bored every day. Because I think we're used to.
Well, that's what we're going to get into.
Yeah. I was just thinking the other day, and I don't know what you've written or going to discuss later, but even when I'm in the shower, normally that's a time where I am bored. But now I put on a podcast and I'm not bored.
Yeah.
So, and it just, I know it's bad in the moment, but I just continue to.
That's just a little habit because it's you want to fill the space with something.
Yeah. Definitely. That's what I want to do. So I'm looking forward to this. So can you tell me what boredom actually looks like? Like, what's it? Not the definition, but what does it look like?
Yeah. Well, one thing that really came to mind, which is really big for me, was this concept of being overstimulated and understimulated at the same time. That's commonly when we get into things like doom scrolling. But just on that concept of over and understimulation, there was a quote that kind of really summed it up, is that boredom is not the lack of stimulation, but the lack of meaning behind whatever it is that you're doing. So kind of trailing back to this concept of doom scrolling, we're being overstimulated with all of this content, these videos, photos, comments, liking, sharing, posting, reels, all the rest of it. But we actually receive no satisfaction from doing this. So that's how we get stuck in this kind of doom scrolling loop, because we're being overstimulated with all of this content and quickly scrolling through everything. But that's why we don't feel any happiness or real fulfillment after doing such a thing.
Okay.
And we still feel this sense of, I'm doing all this, but I'm still really bored.
Yep.
Rather than, taking time to actually explore what that boredom is like and see what you can come up with as a solution of what to do during that bored feeling, and then feel satisfied. So, I guess to treat boredom, not that it is something that needs to be treated, but to counteract that boredom or to use it, we should go forward with things or acts that are fulfilling and meaningful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
I got there.
So utilising boredom to our advantage rather than, getting it stuck into those doom scrolling activities that we all get into every now and then.
Yeah, and I guess I don't want it to sound as though that you need to be super productive, because I know that this is a conversation that we often have, is that even I feel this need that, okay, I might be bored, I need to be doing something productive with my time. But if you're bored and you're wanting to do something, it could be something as simple as, getting out a book and drawing, and letting out that creative outlet and seeing what squiggles kind of come about on the page, or, or writing anything down. That's not necessarily productive to your, career development, but it's a more productive use of your time rather than being overstimulated by meaningless content.
Yeah, I think, productivity is not the word, but I feel as though doom scrolling and even the podcast in the shower are actually harmful. Like, depending on your algorithm, doom scrolling could be scrolling through and seeing the crap that's going on overseas and wars and things like that and news, and that's only going to release spike your cortisol, and what good is that for anyone?
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, well, let's listen to some music and just chill. Like, just chill. You don't have to be a productivity god.
Yeah.
But
or
yeah,
machine.
Machine, yeah. But you don't have to give in to those urges of, because when I get bored now, I automatically I open
look at your
Spotify.
phone.
Straight up, I just straight up open Spotify, and then I used to open up games when I was younger on the phone, like your mobile games, and then I would delete it, and then when I was bored, I would automatically open the phone, scroll to that game, and press on it, but the game's no longer there. But I knew where it was, and that's how ingrained that was in me. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But what sort of how does this play? Like, what role does boredom play in a child's development?
Yeah, a really important part, or a really important thing that boredom does do, is that helps develop certain skills in kids. So it helps develop that resilience, which sounds like a big word in the concept of boredom, but resilience is, persevering and sitting in that space of maybe a bit of discomfort and uncomfortable feelings, not knowing what to do or how to occupy yourself, but you persevere and push through. Helps them with a bit of confidence, creativity, building their self-esteem. You're allowing a child to let their imagination run wild and develop ideas of how to fill time and space. Otherwise, it feels a little bit empty. So you're helping your child develop that, those skills to feel a bit more fulfilled in that time, and come up with ideas themselves.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Anything else? And did you find anything else in your research or?
Yeah, I actually looked in a little bit into a bit of research, and there was a clinical psych by the name of Stephanie Lee that says that boredom is important. Hold on, let me make sure I'm going to say this the right way. Boredom is important and not super distressing when we handle it proactively. But
Which
it's
is
not
different to productively.
Yes. But also it's not fun. Like boredom isn't fun. We shouldn't try and make it out to be this fun thing, and you should just do a little mindset trick and make boredom a fun experience. Like it's not. Yeah. It can feel uncomfortable.
It's mundane.
It's mundane. It's, you know, it's not a good time. But it's important for us to experience that so that we know how to actually regulate that feeling and that emotion as a kid, as a teen, you know, because otherwise if you, I guess I'll go into it, but I guess when you think of it on the flip side, managing our emotions, kids will feel so empowered when they feel like they can manage their emotions and channel their creativity to do something really phenomenal with their time.
Yep.
As opposed to, I'm just going to get really frustrated and throw a tantrum because I'm bored and I don't know what to do with my time. Mum and Dad, help me out.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, that regulation of emotion is so, so important.
Just building those skills.
Psych.
Yeah. I can, in my example, I remember when I was younger, when I was bored, I would go outside and kick the ball.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not productive, but it's not productive. It's just something I enjoyed doing. And it basically lent into the boredom a little bit and was like, you know, I don't have much energy right now. There's nothing else going on, so I'm just going to go and do what I like to do.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of what you used to do when you were younger, or?
Well, I guess I can more so think of it when my little sister was in the picture.
And we should also say we're mid-20s now, so we missed the whole having a phone when we were younger. We didn't have that. We were probably the last generation to have that.
Well, our phones came in when we were like teenagers.
Yeah, I only got my phone in.
I think I got one when I was 12.
Yeah, so we didn't really have... I know, obviously, we had technology in the space of computers and like PS2s and things like that.
Yes, but we weren't iPad babies.
We didn't have the phone in our pocket. So,
yeah,
mine was sport, footy. What was yours? Sorry.
Yeah, ours, and if Em's listening, she'll know Gloria's Glorious Gloop was a character that I created to... occupy myself being, I guess I loved, you know, being a bit of a, sorry, that was Winston banging his bone. There was to help me with my wanting to work with kids, I guess, from a young age. I just loved little kids. And then Em wanted to do something exciting and creative and anything with me because I was just her favourite person in the world. So we just played with slime. You know, nothing super, super productive. You know, we're not doing maths tests or mathletics, even though that was the best website ever. It was just a bit of fun.
Yeah. No, I remember when your sister Em got back into the slime. It was crazy for a few months there.
Yeah. No, she created like tubs of slime. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, would make it.
Yeah, make it herself. She was proud of that.
Yeah. And I've seen, you know, we've only got a fur baby, but Winnie, when he gets bored, you can see him developing a little bit more now that he can sort of entertain himself.
Yeah.
So he'll scoff at us and go, you're not entertaining me, and chuck his like a hissy fit.
A little hissy, yeah.
And then he will go off and grab a toy and just run around with it.
Yeah, or like his bones and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can even see it in animals, which is really cool. But what happens when there's too much boredom in children?
Yeah, there is a process of... There is, a flip side of being bored too much. You know, if our kids, kind of like that concept of over and under stimulation, if our children are understimulated for an excessive amount of time, that can put stress on us. You know, feeling bored is an uncomfortable feeling, so that puts stress on our bodies and increases our cortisol. But if we feel excessive amounts of boredom and stress, that's when we can really experience a lot of dysregulation of our emotions because we're not effectively managing them, and it can result in destructive behaviours. You know, sometimes you see kids and have really big tantrums and, you know, throw a muck of their crayons everywhere because, you know, they may have just been given a piece of paper and a crayon and that's it. Whereas, they might need to get a little bit of a prompt of, can you draw me your something that's red? And then they can draw and engage in it that way. Whereas if they're given not enough stimulation, that's where that dysregulation and distraction can come in.
Would you ever see that? Obviously you're a drama teacher, so do you ever see that there? Or is it too much
100%.
stimulation?
Well, I've actually had both. I've had a situation where you don't give the kids enough, and this is a very interesting conversation I had with my manager the other day, but if you give kids too little guidance, so not enough instruction and too much flexibility and freedom, then it can cause chaos. And then and that's when there's, super noisy classrooms and the kids get into arguments and, they're pulling you over to try and resolve things, whereas you really want them to self-direct it and regulate their own individual teamwork situation. And then if you give them too much, too many instructions to try and develop a scene and create a freeze frame, then the kids are like, well, I don't know what to do because you've told me everything and now I can't be creative.
Yep.
So then they completely disengage. So there is such thing as too much instruction and too many boundaries and too little as well.
Yeah, and that's just dependent on each child?
Yeah. Depends on each child, depends on their, the kids that they're engaged with, the dynamic of the students too. There's some, especially the performing arts opens up a lot of supports and a safe space for so many neurodiverse kiddos. So when you're managing those types of behaviours and communication styles, while mixing in with our neuroregular kiddos, you've got to try and be accommodating to everyone to make sure that everyone feels stimulated enough so that they can be creative and explore as a team and not feel that sense of bored when they're given a topic.
Yeah, I'm sure parents out there listening, that have kids or a child that has ADD can definitely empathise with this topic. I can only, my little brother has it and autism and ADD. And yeah, you can barely, unless he's playing sport, it's so hard to keep him
focused.
Yeah. And I think I've seen him both, when it's loud, he gets overstimulated and will pull back. And then when it's understimulated, he doesn't chuck a tanty, but definitely...
he'll cause the
chaos.
Loudness.
He'll bring the chaos.
The room. Yeah.
So what do parents do when they hear their child yell out, "I'm bored"?
Yeah.
What should they do? What do you reckon?
Yeah.
What tips have you come up with?
I mean, there are a few different tips from, some experts in the field that I guess psychologists, but also, parents and mothers of kids and children themselves. First thing was someone by the name of Gia from Childmind Institute. She said it's a bit of a flip side. So if we drop absolutely everything and tend to our child straight away when they say that I'm bored, it can, that's often a tendency, you want to be on that. We as mentors and caregivers want to drop everything and help them as best as we can. But if we do that, then the child won't develop the important skill of resilience and being able to explore imaginatively. So on the flip side, if we rally off a whole heap of ideas of what the child can do, then they won't develop their own skills of creatively problem solving. So I realised that I just said, if we drop everything, this is what they won't be able to develop. If we do this is what they won't be able to develop. So I guess what we can do in that space is just be able to give them enough of a kind guidance of, look, these are your options. So rather than give one or two solutions, give three. Three is kind of, I guess, a bit of the sweet spot so that they can have a sense of independence and autonomy and making a decision for themselves of what they want to do with their time and space, and then not defining them too much in terms of how far they can go with that particular idea that you've given them. So, say, for example, you kind of going outside and kicking the ball when you were younger. You know, a parent might say, you can go out in the yard and kick soccer, or we can do a game of, what's the game that we used to play with the foursome backs?
Foursome backs, yep.
One that we just made up. Well, sorry, I won't take credit on that you just made up.
I did not make that up.
Oh,
I
did
said
you not?
a game for a long time.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
I just first heard it when I was with you. So you can play a game that you know or make one up and have a bit of fun that way.
Yeah.
And then otherwise we've got a few perspectives from a child psychologist
Awesome.
by the name of Sarah. Mindful Little Minds is her practice. And she said a few key things that we can keep in mind to support our little beans when they say that I'm bored is it's actually quite helpful to put words to the feelings that the kids are experiencing and kind of acknowledging that it's okay to feel a bit uncomfy when we're feeling bored.
Yeah, it's definitely an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe just, it doesn't feel good, does it? This feels a little bit odd, I feel a little bit frustrated too and I don't know what to do. So let's work on a way that we can figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
So then kind of exploring those ways that they can overcome that challenge of boredom and brainstorm some ideas with them. So making sure that they are the ones that are steering that ship, though, with the ideas that you have and kind of guiding them in the direction that they bring forward to you as the caregiver, because that'll then help them build that creativity, that autonomy and that self-esteem to be able to make their decisions moving forward as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good tip.
Yeah. Well, that was, from the experts.
Yeah, from the experts.
From the experts.
Well, you're an
in
expert.
space. Well, yeah, I got a bit of practical
That's just a different-
teaching experience. but-
Different opinion.
Yeah.
It's ironic that this is our episode tonight because Winnie is a little...
He's bored.
Winnie is bored right now being in the room. I've tried to let him out. He went out there. You may have heard it. He did a little speak. Thank you, Winston, for just doing a little one. He could have gone full out.
He did. He could have.
He reserved himself, though.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you've got any tips on how to help a bored dog, then
A bored dog.
send it through.
Danny would say we got to stimulate him.
Yeah, well, I'm trying my best here.
Yeah, I know.
Did Sarah have anything else to say?
No?
No, nothing else?
No.
Oh, awesome.
That's it?
Yeah, I remember, when I was bored, especially school holidays, that's when I was bored the most, when, your siblings weren't there either. And then there was no sport, obviously no mates at school. It was just, what am I going to do today?
Yeah. It can be tough too, when parents are working as well.
Yes.
Because that can be, sometimes your kids can feel even more bored when you're not home because you're working so much. And it's like, well, no, I work the same amount. It's just the fact that you're home and you see me gone for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, definitely. Do you think boredom just quickly opens up the doors for negative emotion? Like, does it leave that door open, do you think? Because there's nothing else being stimulated and you're not distracted?
Yeah.
So it brings forward those feelings that may have been hidden in the first place?
Yeah, it could be.
Because you know how we as adults can sometimes distract ourselves with work.
Yeah. So if you're
suppose-
not occupying yourself with something, it just opens up for those things that you maybe have suppressed.
Yeah, which isn't... It's not bad.
No.
No. That's just an interesting thought I had.
Yeah.
While Winnie's biting at my feet. Cool. I really liked that. That was cool. I liked jumping on the back of a few Instagram posts because I'd love to do that more.
Yeah, for sure.
With Instagram, but obviously just using the one tile, it's hard to get as much information out as possible.
You know the next one that I'd really love to do?
What?
Is the cold exposure.
Because
Because we've both got a little bit of personal experience there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Winnie's going...
Winston
biting
is
each
going
toe.
crazy.
No, it's tough because it's been raining, so we haven't been able to walk him as much as we would have liked. But I'll jump on... Ow! That got me good. Hold on, I'll just pick him up for the checkout question. Give me a sec.
Yeah. Yeah, no, all good. No, Winston goes a little bit crazy.
No, he's running off, don't worry. All right, checkout question. You
you
ready?
got one?
Yeah, I've come up with one. When we send Winnie off to another family, who do you want it to be?
Hey, I love my little man. He's just a
I'm not the
lot.
one getting bit right now.
No.
No, if you had to live in another country tomorrow, which one would you pack for?
What would I pack for?
Like you're getting on a flight tonight at midnight
Tonight at midnight.
to go and live in this country.
Where would
forever.
I go?
Yeah.
I feel like I would do something that has a beach. Something that is with really... Oh, you know what I do? I do Greece.
Greece.
Yeah.
Mykonos.
Beaches, and they've got amazing Mediterranean food. I think, I don't know what the coffee scene is like. I think they have good coffee. I don't know.
I'm sure they would.
You don't really go over there for coffee. That's more like Italy has really nice coffee.
I'm sure they'd have coffee.
And then that would be really nice for gluten-free food. You know, it's not like Italy would be awesome, but like the pastas and the pizzas and stuff, I don't want to be offensive and be like, hey, can't have your good stuff from Gran Maria. Gotta have the gluten-free flour. I don't know.
Gotta have your gluten-free flour.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
what about
looking in
you?
Greece? I'm looking in Japan.
Yeah, okay.
Easy.
Loved it. The sushis.
I'd love to just, the first night when we got into Japan, we went to a sushi restaurant like 11.
Yeah.
And it was packed. It was like, sushi was genuinely $1.50.
It was amazing.
And it was just, it was so good.
It was really
I'd
good.
live there. We want to end up potentially buying over there at some point when we're old. So that would be so nice. That would be so good. But that's my answer.
Cool.
Winnie, where do you want to live?
Can you make him do a little speak?
Winnie? Hold on. Oh, this is one of our tricks with Winnie.
Let's see.
Winnie, can you speak? Good boy.
There we go. That's where he would go.
That's where he'd go. All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I hope you have an awesome night, awesome morning, awesome afternoon. And, we'll get you next episode.
Beautiful. Catch you next
Awesome.
time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.